Hello and welcome back to I Wani Hug That Gator. Man, I can't wait to just go home and relax. Maybe open a bag of chips. Olivia's tremoring has fallen to a 2 on the Richter scale, so that's nice. She's seen enough Mia to last a while. Then again, so have I. She'd probably kill us if she saw us sneaking off. We're near the end of it all. It's nearly over. It's the first bit of quiet that we've got. The sound of Olivia and I walking through the halls. Olivia's gripping my wrist pretty hard. Guess she's still pretty tense. Say, maybe there's a massage place around here? That'd be pretty nice right now. Wait a second. Just the sound of Olivia and I walking through the halls? Something ancient awakens in me. An icy chill races down my spine as if there's a knife poised just behind my neck. The Gator girl tenses, head stiffly turning. Her pupils slowly shift to mine, and their contact pinpoint brings attention to the danger my ancestral instincts are warning me of. Sup? You two trying to run, Fight or flight reflexes kick in. Zero thought on my end, and my body chooses to just book it. For a moment, I wonder if the deafening noise of the metal doors being hit is from Mia punching it in rage or accidentally slamming into it, chasing after us. When I catch you, I will eviscerate you and every last thing you love. Fuck! I'll get her voice back in a minute. The elevator finally begins to descend downwards. I exhale deeply. Olivia gasps for breath. My arm stings from Olivia's razor grip. Good thing I have a jacket. Her claws have been shredding into my sleeve. I think it may have even drawn blood. I shake my arm a bit and Olivia retracts her hands apologetically. Sorry. Oh God, are you okay? No, I'm not. What happens when we reach the bottom? Mia will be waiting for us. Olivia removes the key from the slot. It won't open. Just don't make any noise. The elevator reaches the bottom. Just as Olivia said, without the key, the outmoded chamber slowly powers down. Silence. There's a small gap under the door, letting light in. There's nobody there. We sit in the dark, empty cabin for what feels like minutes. I'm pressed close to Olivia while we wait it out. I can feel her tail wrap around my ankle, which thankfully won't grip my clothes apart. The phrase 7 minutes in heaven surfaces in my mind is buried immediately. It's a bit warm in here. Shh. Heavy, rapid footsteps zone in on us, accompanied by the sound of ripping paper. Mia's destroying everything on the walls. You fuckers had better still be in there. If you cowards ran away, so help me, Raptor Jesus. She's right in front of the door. I hear her heavy breathing, the soft thuds as she attempts to put her ear to the door a few times. I try to stay silent as possible, but I'm afraid that the homicidal parasaur can hear my heart hammering in my chest in pants-crapping horror. Mia, with no intention to vent her frustration verbally, resorts to the next best thing. Physical therapy. We're surrounded by the sounds of ripping paper, dented lockers, and drywall fracturing. On occasion, something hits the elevator door again. Olivia and I don't dare to move. I hear other voices. Mia's drawn attention to herself. Who the fuck are you looking at? Do you want one less horn? Find someone quick. I fucking swear I've had it with the fucking luggage case on wheels. Good luck painting when you're eating through a straw, bitch legs. Crack on't. It took me a minute. Olivia takes a sharp breath. Silence. What was that sound? It sounded like a series of sharp cracks. Hey, whoa, hey, it's all cool. It's not what it looks like. It's, rapid footsteps echo from down the hall. Is she gone? What the fuck could have scared Mia like that? There's a light knock on the elevator door. Hey, is anyone in there? He sounds exhausted, but it's definitely a Lakan. By now, my eyes have adjusted to the light. Olivia's relief is palpable and shared, my body finally relaxing and practically melting against the wall of the tiny elevator. We're going to have to tell Lakan. It's safe to come out. It's all clear. Well, it looks like a stick of dynamite went off out here, but otherwise it's fine. I look at Olivia, who stares at the key in her hand. She moves to unlock the elevator, but hesitates. I think our teacher is able to sense it, since his tired voice carries the weight of his worry. Everything will be okay, I promise. Just open the door. But she doesn't put it in, she just stares. You don't know that. Olivia whispers softly. I can barely make it out. God, please. Putting the key in and opening up means telling Lakan everything. There's no way Mia's letting this slide. Nothing is a safe bet. Nothing can be said for sure. She can't do anything, and she can't do anything. She can't do nothing, and she can't do anything either. So she looks at me, as if I'd have an answer. The key is offered to me, delicately held between two of her claws. All right, let's get this over with. We've gotten this far. Time to end it. I've had enough of all this stress. By the looks of it, so has Olivia. She's been dealing with this much longer than me, so it's time for me to carry my own weight here. It's the least I can do to take the final step for her. Even if she doesn't trust Lakan, she trusts me. She doesn't trust Lakan? That doesn't sound right. But it can't be anything else. It's just that. Enough nonsense. I take the key and move to slide the key in the panel. With the key inserted and twisted, the dark room shudders briefly before the metal door finally starts to slide open. We're greeted by the sight of our teacher looking very haggard, his brow slick with sweat and holding some strange black rod. Olivia reels back at the sight of the odd baton. Thanks for saving us, Mr. Lakan. Don't thank me just yet. I'm gonna need an explanation for all this. So it's Principal Scalar, for that matter. He steps aside and motions us out of the elevator with a wave of the broad stick. Come along now. Give the janitor some time to take care of this mess. Holy shit, it looks like Mia tried to destroy everything within her reach in the hallway. On the ceiling, pipes are leaking water intended for the fountain and toilets. A group of dinos in overalls round the corner looking absolutely pissed. Our teacher waves to them and begins escorting us to his room. All of the adrenaline has faded now and I can feel the acute pain in my arm. Olivia's hand reaches back behind her head to an arm she had grabbed, and her fingers delicately loop around the spot. She looks back, her mouth shut tight, before her sympathetic eyes telling me she's sorry. I nod back with a comforting smile. Sure, it hurts, but I knew she didn't mean it. We look forward again to the door of Lakan's classroom. Olivia sighs and resigns herself to explaining everything to our teacher. Olivia looked ready to collapse. She had taken the better part of an hour explaining Mia's extortion in full detail to Mr. Lakan. I grab Olivia's canteen and hand it to her. She greedily chugs the entire thing, gasping after and rubbing her sore throat. It was hard to get a read on what our teacher was thinking. His brow was furrowed, his fingers steepled, and he was muttering to himself. Finally, with a deep sigh, he stands from his desk and looks at the exhausted girl. I had a feeling something was going on, but to this extent, you should have come forward sooner. I know, but we're here now, aren't we? Fair point, but I'm still concerned that you thought nobody would notice. I didn't think anybody else would care to look. Those assignments go through dozens of eyes, you know. What do you mean? Your style, Olivia. I saw it from a mile away, and I was just waiting for you to talk to me. You knew? Why didn't you say anything? I wanted it to come from you. Don't worry. I'm not going to lecture you. Raptor Jesus knows you've had enough of that already. I'm glad you two are okay. Yeah, I thought she was going to kill us, honestly. Mr. Lakan shakes his head before he smiles softly at us. Have some faith in the faculty here. We do our best for you. With what we have on Mia now, we can justify watching her like a hawk from here on. Anybody else she was harassing ought to thank you. Are you sure she's actually going to get in trouble for this? At this point, we'd look bad if we didn't punish Mia for this kind of behavior. That's a relief. Come now, you two can hunker here until school clears out. You sure? You two going to stay after like always anyways, right? Yeah. A loud noise makes me stumble to the floor. Mr. Lakan. Whoops. Lakan looks at the device in his hand. Is that a taser? There's a piece of tape on it with something written on it. Estras protocol. Anyway, I'm going to run and get some things done. They're going to want my account on paper pretty soon. May as well knock it out of the way. With no care at all, Mr. Lakan chucks the electric weapon onto his desk before turning to his doorway. Don't burn the place down, all right? Seriously, I don't trust you people anymore. Alone, I go sit near the back of the classroom. Looking out the window, I finally let out a huge sigh before I've been holding in. Olivia rolls over to join me, and surprisingly, she's smiling. You were right, Inko. Huh? I trusted him. We sit in silence, just looking out the window. When school lets out, we watch the crowd of students going home. I don't see Mia in the crowd, but that doesn't matter. I think, despite it all, Olivia's life is going to be just a bit easier after today. While students trickle out of the school, Olivia took the chance to unwind. I figured to just let her rest, as I saw her drooping eyelids finally shut. She looked cute, just napping idly in her wheelchair, except for the weird bellowing. It was like a snore, except I could feel the vibration through the floor. With the clouds hiding the sun and the classroom's lights turned off, I could do the same with some shut-eye. But I can't bring my eyes closed. Instead, I look out the window. The layer of clouds overhead steadily grow more dense, casting a darker shade on everything. Light rain prick against the glass. Crap, I really should have brought my umbrella. As a few minutes go by, they roll in closer and closer, blocking out the sunlight. If Olivia were awake, she'd think it was pretty neat. I look back at her. Maybe I could nap too. Just a little. What? Oh. My eyes are drawn upwards to the heavy clouds in the skies. In moments, the glass of the window is assailed by numbers of heavy droplets of rain. Holy moly. The trees outside are billowing almost aggressively. Several small branches are stripped away in the torrential downpour. An umbrella wouldn't help with this. Huh? What? My phone's blaring an alarm. So is Olivia's. Instructions to shelter in place for several hours. The classroom door is thrust open quickly. Mr. Lakan is back, panting hard, clothes drenched. He takes our moment of surprise to compose himself as best he can. Sorry about that. The faculty is doing a sweep of campus right now. Apparently there's a monsoon scare right now. Monsoon? Does that happen here? Lakan gestures to his drenched outfit and out the window as if to ask if Mia had clocked me in the head after all. Right. Are we going to be alright? Oh, of course. The school is designated shelter for the worst disasters. If anything, you're safer here than at home. But the hallway outside is open, isn't it? I just finished putting up the cover. Cover? Just keep close to the wall, yeah? What do we do now? Lakan shakes his phone at us. Shelter in place. We're all stuck here for a few hours. Olivia reaches into her bag and pulls out her drawing book and a well-used pencil. Actually, why don't you use this time to catch up on some schoolwork? I'm sure you have some work from other classes still pending, and I can't think of a better time to tackle them than right now. But today's been rough. Can I do this or finish my nap instead? That's fine too, but aren't you falling behind grade-wise in some of your other classes? Maybe. Fine. I'll catch up on some of that work. Lakan gives a single nod and smiles. Olivia puts away her drawing materials and instead pulls out her bulky mathematics book, which she set on the table with more force than necessary, followed by her notebook. With some hesitation on her part, Olivia sets herself to work. Meanwhile, I bring myself closer to her in case she wants some help with the work. After a few minutes, it's clear her mind and spirit isn't into work one bit. She's constantly fidgeting, taps her pen on the table, and looks around the room and out the window. Eventually, she lets out a groan and slams her book shut. This sucks. Can I please do something else? Lakan, who has been busying himself with grading some papers, snaps up away from his work, looking at Olivia and rubbing his chin. Well, there is one thing you could do to help out. Would need both of your help with it. Could even consider it a new extra assignment. What do you say? I don't know, today's been pretty rough on Olivia. Absolutely, I'll do it. Alright. Wonderful, it's back here. He starts walking to the back of the room and waves for the two of us to follow him. Whoa, something in the darkroom? Oh man, I thought we wouldn't get to do anything in there until the last few weeks of the semester. Are we going to be getting a head start on this section? Maybe we'll be making prints or learning about C41 and... Huh? Oh, Olivia's poking my back. Quit it with the cinematic gait. You're going too slow. Oops. I shake the excitement off and head into the darkroom. Lakan holds the door open for the two of us to enter. The inside glows a vibrant crimson light. Lakan's suits appear to light up in the bright light, and so does my shirt. I've only actually been in a darkroom once before. This is so cool. Honestly, I would adore to get to play in a darkroom. I love film. I clasp my hands together. There's just something so nice about classical film, like using old film stock instead of just digital. So, what are we developing? This is an important job just for you. Alright, I'm ready for it. What am I developing? Your lower back. There's a click of a switch and the red lights switch to a normal light and properly illuminate the room. There's boxes over there. I need one at each station around here, but they're too heavy for me. If you can, of course. Legally, I can't make you do any of this. Do I at least get extra credit? You get one of the bags of chips I keep hidden in my desk. Fine. Nice. Come on, Olivia. We should clear the way for him. There's actually something in the box we'll need in a bit. The two move back to the entrance, and I'm faced with the myriad boxes I'll have to carry. Looks like there's about 10. They're probably medium-sized, like you could fit a table lamp in them. How heavy can they... How heavy can they... Lift with your knees and go! This is gonna suck. I look at Olivia and she's already got her phone and pointed my way. Damn it! I shift my legs and try again. Hurr! I actually managed to get this thing off the ground. This must weigh at least 70 pounds. What are these? Loaded with bricks? Something like that. Careful, they're fragile. Finally, I get the last box in its place. I pick a chair and collapse in a heap. My muscles are on fire. Though to be honest, I don't know if I could have done all that at the beginning of the year. I guess I'm getting stronger. Lakan walks into the dark room with a small black toolbox. Oh good, you're done. Come on out and take a breather. That looked tough. I'd rather stay here. Moving is pain. Olivia shows up in the doorway behind Lakan. I'm surprised you didn't use the dolly. I was about to say there's going to be a dolly, isn't there? What dolly? Before you get started with me, Inko, you didn't ask. For the love of I hate you. That's the spirit. Olivia stifles her laughter into a snickering snort fest. Your mood will improve when you see just what you've been carrying. Oh? He grabs a box cutter from the shelf and slices the top one open. Our teacher pulls out what looks like a large overhead lamp from the box. Oh, sweet. So that means that you'll be making your own prints for midterms. That sounds awesome. Oh man, I can't wait to. But before any of that, these need to be assembled. The rest of the parts are taken from the box and set down meticulously. Olivia's gotten curious as she rolled up to the station, handling one of the funnier looking pieces. Anywho, here you two go. Wait, two? Yes, two. Don't think I didn't notice you watching Inko so much. The stammered denial from Olivia does nothing to wipe the cheeky grin from our teacher's face. But what about you, Mr. Lakan? I'll be right back. He makes his way to the door again. Get started without me. I need to go fetch some things. Before Olivia or I can speak up, he's left the room. Olivia's already has the toolbox open in her lap. Right then. I grab the folded up instructions and lay it out, seeing the details of the bizarre device fully assembled. Okay, so... Dunk. Step 1. Hand me the next piece. Oh, did I scare you? Yeah, you scared me. These things are heavy. What if you dropped that on something? I didn't, though. But you could have. And I didn't. Olivia's tail reaches for some brackets, but I grab the limb before she can take them. Hold on, we gotta do things right, or the enlarger might not work right. She retracts her tail from the table. You're no fun. It's just an oversized lamp. That's a gross oversimplification. You're a gross oversimplification. Lakan's gonna make you use the one you break. That just means I can sketch more, right? Well, it means you can't participate and learn about photography. Photography's your thing, so it doesn't really apply to me so much, does it? Well, maybe that's the case for you, but photography's my thing. It's the whole reason I took this class after all. Oh, sorry. It's nothing. Olivia politely rests her hand in her lap. Her eyes linger on the box of parts. Well, how does it work then? The print enlarger? She shakes her head. Photography. Like, why the giant lamp thing? It's all digital today, right? Huh. I think that's the first time someone's actually asked me about it. Sure, I've had lots of mid-shower rehearsals explaining my hobbies and their cultural significance to others, but none of that is coming to me right now. It's all about shot composition, and this machine is part of the production of it. Getting the right things in the right places at the right time to evoke a certain feeling. Composition is a thing in painting too, you know. I'm ill-prepared for Olivia's comeback. Yeah, but it's a lot easier to pick up a composition you want. You don't have to worry about any factors other than yourself. With photography, you have to build the set to get a good photo. That's the fun of it. But why would you want to limit yourself like that? Why not just draw whatever you're taking a picture of instead? You could express all kinds of things you could never express with a photo. Olivia taps the claw on the imager. The metallic ping echoes in the small room. What sets all this junk apart from the lines on a page? The technique of vision. She smirks at my petulant comment. Fine, I'll show her. I'll prove to you that this takes skill. I hold the lighting portion up, making sure it's at the right angle, and fasten the last portion of the enlarger to it. I plug the machine in and flip the switch, happy to make it work right and light up the entire base. Olivia looks at me with confusion as I move to the entrance room and flick the light switch, bathing the room in bright red again. Going back to our workspace, I pull out the developed negatives from my backpack and slot the slot I want into the carrier. And ta-da! The negative carrier in place in the machine. A blurry gray blob is projected into the base. What? Give me a minute. I hold the manual under the light to slide the blob, checking which knob is which, and slowly turn them. As the lens and billows shift, the Rorschach test transforms, gaining more definition until finally it becomes a spitting image of the school's front entrance. I can even do this. I take out the negative and place another atop of it before slotting the carrier back in, which also increasing the strength of the light. The image displayed is now the entrance with a half dozen semi-transparent students in front of it. What did you do? I overlapped another shot. The backgrounds are the same and doubled up, so I had to intensify the light, otherwise the entrance would look too dim. So, that would take me a few minutes to do tops. It'd look a lot better too. She smirks, but I think she's feigning her apathy with this. Her tail gives her away. It's a lot more technical, I guess, but I only knew how to do this kind of stuff from Mr. Lakan's lectures about negatives. What else can you do with this thing? I don't know, but... What's the oh shit! I put the negative carrier and wince at how hot it is. Crap, shit. Olivia is quick to rip the plug from the socket. With my sleeve, I open the carrier and see I've managed to melt the two negatives together. Oh man, I was gonna use that. All that work and I go and mess it up, trying to prove something. Olivia is never going to let me live this down. The green Gator girl lays a sympathetic hand on my shoulder to my surprise. Hey, shit happens. I've ruined a lot of paintings in the past too, you know. She takes the reels from the warm metal plate and holds them up to the red light, trying to see through them. And you've got more shots on this thing. But I like those shots. Then go retake them. It's not that easy. Like, it has to be the exact same time and weather and... lighting? The abrupt darkness coincides with the vague ambient sound of the ventilation shutter to a halt. The blackness is all-encompassing. I can't even see Olivia, who I know is right next to me. Inko? Her voice helps me confirm that we're still alive in some fashion. But there's a shakiness in her tone which sends a rattle down my spine. Our breathing is only noise. It's as if we've been encapsulated in a void of nothingness. I'm still here. I know that. I plant my hand down to brace her shout, feeling still warm metal of the enlarger base. But, yeah, I guess the school lost power. I feel something cover my hand, and then squeeze, painfully. Ow, sorry. The pressure lessens, but she doesn't let go of my fingers. No, it's fine. There's a subtle shake in the scaly limb of my hand. But when I brush my thumb across the limb, it eases. Hey, stop that. Stop what? Just stop that thing you're doing with your hand. I shrug, and then went to slap my face when I realized she can't see that. All right. Standing there in the darkness of the dark room isn't getting us anywhere. Should we go find... Inko! Olivia! Ah! My instinct kicked in. I hopped back to make space between us and the killer. I turned my back to them to become a defensive wall. I wrapped my arms around Olivia's head to make sure she's 100% protected. Hey, it's me, Mr. Lakan. It took a bit to find a flashlight, but with how this room is... I look up at the shining white pterodactyl pointing a flashlight at his own face. Oh. Get off of me, you idiot. Ugh! Look, I'm not paying you two to get frisky in the closet. That's what Trigham's class is for. You're not paying. We're not for it. Mr. Lakan holds up a pale hand with a grin widening. Relax, I'm just joking around. He leans against the doorway to get a better look inside the dark room with his flashlight. The power's out in the whole block. Apparently, our backup generator's decades old and is only keeping the AC on. Someone should get fired for that. Come on, we can wait it out in the studio. Olivia follows me out into the main classroom as we trail slowly in Mr. Lakan's wake. The slow sounds of his gait set a nice contrast to the rain lashing against the windows. Whoa, it really is coming down outside. Think it'll flood. It floods here? Sometimes. The ground floor classrooms used to have a carpet, you know. Lakan starts pulling something out of his desk, but it's too dark to see what. Don't remind me. That junk just sucked away half a year's funding. You ever try teaching people about watercolors without the friggin' watercolors? It was ridiculous. I remember. I remember you were most upset. All right. He sets the tiny tea light down on one of the desks and begins lighting them. The tiny wicks are set alight with the tiniest of embers, providing the bare minimum of illumination for us to see. Won't those trigger the fire alarm? We should be fine. They're too small by themselves. What are these for? Been saving them for a rainy day. We're going to be stuck for a while, so why not make a camp out? Camping. I like the sound of that. Won't we get in trouble, though? It'd be trespassing, right? It's either this or trying to get home in the storm. As if to illustrate his point, the weather decided to chime in. Besides, school is usually made with sheltering in mind. There's all kind of procedures for this, like bringing everyone to the gym and breaking out some really moldy cots. Olivia winces. Those haven't been replaced. Our budget has been in the red for years, Miss Alford. Part of why we're being scrutinized right now with the whole audit business. Anyway, we're the only ones left on campus, so I'm not going to go through all that trouble. So just relax for now. I've already called a taxi for the both of you. Taxi? I made a call as soon as the power went out. It's just going to be a while to get one ready to send out. What'll we do in the meantime? Our teacher has a wicked grin. You're not done with that homework, right? I'm kidding. Time and the storm carry on, yet things are surprisingly calm. Olivia pretends to focus on her work while I pretend to help her, but soon enough Mr. Lakan starts sharing wild stories about the previous semesters. You know, a few years back, somebody tried to take his hat right off his head. Let me tell you, I've never seen a shovel fly that fast. That sounds appropriately violent. Either way, Olivia slowly loosens the facade of productivity, and I join her not long after. You know, I still owe you for ruining your one coat last year. Oh, forget about it. I have dozens of them in my closet anyway. You too? The eerie ambience from the Blackout is quickly overridden by our combined laughter. Eventually, we run out of things to say and just wait quietly in each other's company. Lakan slumps downwards in his chair. Ooh, long day today. He glances out the window, still being assaulted by sheets of rainwater outside. Normally I'm home by now, resting. You two mind if I relax a little here? Yeah, go ahead. Thanks. He stretches behind him, cracking his spine against the groove of his chair. Olivia, I've been meaning to say, you're usually so quiet and reserved, isolated even. I've noticed you being a bit more friendly recently. Do you think so? You've been in my class all 4 years, of course I would. Maybe I'm a bit old-fashioned, but it hurts me to see a student hurt themselves like that. When you're in an adult world, you'll see this all the time. Once someone is in a rut, they'll tend to just stay there until their days blend together instead of lifting themselves up. Like they got all the time in the world. So I'm proud of you for making an effort, Olivia. Mr. Lakan, Don't be flustered, be proud, Olivia. You've managed to form a friendship. Of course, I appreciate you extending an olive branch too, Inko. Me? It's no problem, Mr. Lakan. Come on, school hours are over. You can drop the Mr. bullshit. I mean, it's not something to be thanking me for, is it? I'm just your friend. That is great to hear, though. You can't always navigate this world alone. Someone to keep company can really help you. He can. More than you can imagine. Lakan leans forward to place a hand over both of ours. He just barely makes contact with Olivia's wrist when she winces and yanks it back. Shit. Olivia? Are you alright? No, I'm fine. Yeah, that just hurts. I was fine before, though. You've been trying to stay off that wrist all day. Was it that bad? It was feeling better. I even helped build those 2 hookies. The print enlargers? He covers his eyes with one hand. Of course, great move. Students have been overworking herself, and I think to give extra physical work. What am I doing? It wasn't your fault. I didn't want you to worry. I had no idea how bad it was. He leans forward again, gently holding Olivia's wrist, inspecting it and being careful not to cause any pain. You need to take care of yourself, Olivia. If something were to happen, I know you'd be completely beside yourself. I know. I know you were doing extra work, but how did it even get this bad? It was a lot of extra work. Doing a whole group's assignment on top of my own. For the last 3 weeks, basically all my free time. It's great practice, at least that's what I was telling myself. Olivia does her best to hide her wince from the teachers testing her arms. I never would have made it to graduation. All because of the painting you switched. She shakes his head and lets go of Olivia. No, it goes further than that. That painting was all because of the pain you've been going through all these years. All because of the first contest entry hanging in the gala. Your first venture into the art world, and it went how it did. Olivia looks down at her hand, stretching the fingers out and in slowly and carefully. My hand moves without a thought, fingers taking her hand carefully to help in some way or another. You and that painting. Our teacher palms his face and groans into it. It's a genuinely good piece, Olivia. I've told you that so many times. She locks up, but manages a small nod. What a horrible chain of events. I've had to witness it all these years. Watched it as it's taken your friends, your self-worth, that little smile you had when you first came into my class. And now it's ruining your health. He gently lets go and covers his own eyes again. And I really just sat here and watched it. I was just talking about how people act like they have more time than they have. Lakan. Are you alright? I'm super. I'm more than okay, thanks for asking. In fact, I've made up my mind about something. You. Take her to the gala, please. There's something I want you two to see. No words, just do it, please. I nod. What are you going to show us? He stops at the door. Something you should have seen a long time ago. My shoes slosh noisily through the flooded hallway as we slowly head back to the main building of the school. Olivia herself used her arms to tuck her legs up onto her seat and her head now resting on her knees. Lakan didn't seem to care, each of his steps splashing water around and soaking his slacks. The drains in the floor are working overtime, keeping the water at a minimum level. An unsettling feeling washes over me as we enter the atrium, the interior of the school pitch black from the lack of lighting. At least we aren't dealing with wet floors, but navigating the halls in the dark is now a new difficulty. Olivia brought out her phone, using it as a flashlight, as a light to shine our way, but I'm still unnerved. The only sound I hear is the quashing of my shoes and the awkward dripping from both Olivia and I. And it was then that I realized Lakan had left us behind. Mr. Lakan? Her voice bounces off the dark halls of the school. Did you see where he went? I think he went that way. I just make out Olivia's hand pointing thanks to her phone, towards the school's office. I keep pushing Olivia, though taking my time as I feel my shoes threatening to slip with each step. It's slow going between the eerie darkness and my slow steps, which should have taken us a minute, at most takes 3 minutes for us to arrive at the gala. Well, here we are. The storm rages against the glass ceiling. That's normally the source of the natural lighting. Hall's natural lighting is completely obscured by the typhoon. And there's still no sign of Lakan. I withdraw my phone and turn the flashlight on too, in the hopes to improve the situation. I can hear something else aside from us in the rain. Something's getting closer. A tiny red light in the distance. There was a sound. Tiny ember bounces and sways in rhythm with the odd tapping, until... when did he turn into the guy from American Psycho? I'm frozen for a second. The thought forces its way through me. He wouldn't ever hurt us. Lakan, what are you doing? Something is kicked aside. It's Olivia's painting from this art contest a few weeks back. It smacks loudly against the glass ceiling casing on the display case. These are the ones, yes? What? I'm ignored, Lakan staring right at Olivia. She's also struck with fear, but she nods. Lakan takes a deep breath and faces the display. What are you going to do with that? Hey, Lakan, wait. Isn't this a bit extreme, isn't it? Oh, I love the colors. Oh, the animations are so good. Oh God, I'm old. Olivia? It's gone. Both of them. This should have been done long ago. Yeah. Lakan, it's crazy. I know. What about the other things in the case? Who the fuck cares? Those students graduated ages ago. You know how many still do art? None. If they're collateral so someone else can, fine by me. But Olivia, you got no other big paintings now, do you? She shakes her head. That's a shame. Look what I just did. I can make another. Yeah, that's what I need to hear. You make me so proud to hear that. Do you remember? In sophomore year when you challenged me to think of something I'd want to do and set a goal to do it? Of course. I couldn't think of anything back then. But there has been one thing I've been wanting to do for a while now. And like you said, some company could really help. Olivia grips my hand just a little tighter. Promise not to laugh? Never. Would you mind asking me again, Lakan? Sure. I believe it was, if you could leave right now and go do anything you wanted, what would you want to do? Anything at all. Yep. I want to go see a fountain and paint it for you. Fucking brilliant. There's a fountain here. There's a park not too far from here. You can barely see a fountain in the center of it from the window. You can't see it right now in the storm, but I want to go there. I think I know of it. The one in Stig Equestrian Park? That's wonderful, Olivia. Lakan stumbles a bit. I rush to give him a shoulder as some of the glass crunches under my feet. Good thing the power's out. No cameras or anything. Won't you get in trouble for this? I'm always in trouble for something. And ordinarily, I'd just take a hit. Especially for something like this. That Mia chick can take the fall. To hell with her. Olivia manages a small smile. I'm looking forward to that painting. You better get it to me. I will. And you better help. Of course. Lakan motions for us to wait by the school's entrance. For a while, we sit there. Sorry, my pup's being cute. Do you have one, Lakan? Do you have something you want to do? I'm already doing it. No, really. Really, teaching high school is a great job that nobody ever regrets. You should pose that question to Inko there. All this character development, and he's barely said a word. Alright, Inko, what about you? What do I want to do, huh? If I could pick anything, I guess. I want to find true love. More ambitious dream, I can get behind it. It's a bit unimaginative. That's just haters talk. You should probably start looking more into the how and not what. Like you would know, I can totally do it. Sure thing, Mr. Successful. Your blog doesn't even have 10 followers. You looked me up? Yeah, I got bored. You could at least follow me if you're gonna cyberstalk me. I'll follow you when you look good, when you make good content. Also, your interpretation of Godzilla you copied from the video essay sucks and you should feel bad. I copied Lakan's motion with the axe to karate chop Olivia's leg. I didn't feel that, jackass. Well, I guess the banter is a form of motivation as well. Sounds like you have quite the promise to uphold now, Inko. Boo. Even with the disses being thrown around, what stood out most was the wild grin on Olivia's face. Between the staccato of the rain and the uproarious laughter, time seemed non-existent. I could feel the muscles in my face ache, brought on by the bouts of laughter and grinning, which made the taxi's arrival so disappointing. As we were escorted out of the parking lot, our mirth was replaced with something more calm, comfortable, an ease quiet that let my thoughts wander back to the things that we said to each other, back to what our Petro teacher had said. Navigating the world alone. For all the time I spent around Olivia and her friends, it never really occurred to me that she'd harbor something like loneliness. I mean, Damien alone is like a wild crowd composed of a single madman. And Liz, she's practically the group's nanny or something. The driver of the yellow van leans into his horn, and I can feel a baleful leer on me through the haze of the fog and raindrops. Olivia draws up her hood, and I hold my jacket above my head. With a final look at Mr. Lakan, we thank him. No need for thanks. Seeing my students grow and prosper into adulthood is all the reward this old fossil needs. With the wave of his hand, he sends us off into the rain, to the irate taximan's van that yells at us about his burning gas. While Olivia works to get herself situated in the cab, I turn back. Mr. Lakan is sagging, meandering back into the building. Boy, hurry up. Right. Alright, so that's where we're going to leave it. So thank you guys so much for joining me for another great episode. Don't forget to check out my other channel, Sinfully Pure, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys!